CNN has now learned that countries working to end the war with Iran are calling for a 45-day ceasefire. A White House official says the president has not signed off on the proposal, but Iran has already rejected it. It comes as the president threatens to escalate the conflict big time, demanding that Iran reopen the vital Strait of Hormuz by tomorrow evening. He tells Axios that if that deadline expires, and I'm quoting the president now, I am blowing up every, end quote.
Do you know how seriously the president is considering this ceasefire proposal?
Well, look, what we know as of now is that he is considering it. It's unclear, though, how serious he is actually taking it. As you mentioned, a White House official told us that he has not signed off on this proposal yet and that it's just one of many ideas under consideration. But what I can tell you is that obviously we are now only 36 or so hours now away from that new deadline. This
is all very similar, guys. Thanks you so much for joining me. It's very similar to like all the other times where, you know, I guess it's the people that are, you know, Trump, obviously, businessman, yes. Politically savvy, yes. Obviously very smart, very cutthroat, very kind of guy. When it comes to the global stage, obviously he needs advisors. This is not his realm. He understands, you know, obviously more than the average person. But when it comes to the you know, war, conflict, these are things that he needs input from. Obviously, he's going to make the final decision, but I don't understand how. The same thing with the Ukraine war. You know, I mean, in his mind, obviously, he thought that he can get this thing over with right away. Is Israel and Gaza, and now Iran. He just needs to understand that when he is not the sole power at play, these things, there are other factors. There are people that want these things to continue, and you can't always make a deal. You cannot always make a deal. It's becoming very apparent to me that whoever is guiding him along the way, either maybe for nefarious purposes, maybe for, you know, military-industrial complex purposes, for whatever reason, they're definitely leading him astray. This obviously was not a good idea. I mean, that's I'm putting it very, very lightly. This has the potential of being a massive, massive disaster. Politically, obviously, lives being lost, just the total destruction of basically a country. And now, like, what are these people going to do after that? Like, okay, yeah, the regime is gone, but we're literally living in rubble now with no infrastructure. What the hell's going to happen now? A lot of people speculate on what's going to happen now, but I don't know the direction. I don't know the direction, and I'm somebody that kind of consumes this daily, and I don't know what the plan is. When he gets angry like that, and when he has these outbursts, you can kind of see that it's not going his way. Obviously, you know that this is not something. It doesn't seem like to me a strategic, like pivot point where he goes in front of the camera, he yells, "I'm going to blow you guys to smithereens." And then they're saying they're not negotiating. He's saying you got 48 hours. They're basically saying F you. He calls a bluff. He blows up some more shit. And then we're still back at square one again. I just don't see. Does not seem like there was a plan. And it just becomes very frustrating and a lot more obvious as time goes on. Like I said, for the most part, when you have people that talk about Trump and talk about the things that he's done in the past, stuff like that. For the most part, everyone always bashes him in the beginning, and then it kind of levels out, and then you kind of see what the ultimate plan was. And for the most part, it kind of works out a little bit. When it came to Venezuela, when it came to Panama, obviously, you know, the immigration, some tax policies, like even the tariffs, like some of that stuff was kind of, it was all kind of gelling. Maybe it wasn't great. It wasn't perfect. Obviously, you know, everyone oversells. That's just that's the nature of life in general. Everyone oversells to get their agenda pushed across. But for the most part, all the things that he was, you know, had the vision of doing, and was getting constantly shot down by left and progressives and even a lot of people on the right, ended up kind of stabilizing and not being so bad. And you kind of could see the vision of the future. You kind of could see that if this stuff normalizes and we just stop, you know, crack down on the border, you know, get a lot of illegals out to leave, self-deport or deport them. Crime was at an all-time historic low. Like people have no idea. Like the fact that we were at a historic low level of homicides in the United States for the year. That is insane. That alone, like, should be billboard everywhere. Like, there should be posters everywhere. Like, there are more people alive today, probably because of this administration and the actions that they took right out of the gate. This feels different. This feels like, yeah, they were lambasting him in the beginning, and then everyone that kind of like used to this kind of thing, they're kind of like, all right, let's take a step back, let's take a chill pill, let's see how this progresses. Maybe do a couple of strikes, just like he did before. Back out. Israel wants to do what Israel wants to do. We do us, they do them, and everyone can kind of go their separate ways. And we don't have. It just seems like this is progressing into something that we've all felt before. And maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But the more time goes on, the more it feels like it's not going to end. It's not going to stop. The end in sight is always there, and then it gets pushed back. And again, we all have the 2 weeks to flatten the spread or lower the curve, whatever the hell it was. We all have that still in our minds. That still is sitting there with us, and it will continue to sit there for our generation for basically forever.
The president had set for Iran to either reopen the Strait of Hormuz or face a serious and much more aggressive escalation in U.S. attacks, particularly, the president said, on energy infrastructure sites, civilian infrastructure sites. So we'll have to see. I think this proposal, and I should note this proposal was drafted by U.S. intermediaries in this war, countries like Pakistan, Turkey, and Egypt, which have been passing messages between Washington and Tehran. They are the ones who had drafted this proposal. They delivered it to both countries last night. And so now we just are trying to get a sense of whether or not this is actually something that we could see happen. The idea, of course, behind it is they're hoping that a 45-day ceasefire could be enough time for both sides to really have much more substantial negotiations that could potentially provide an end to the war. But again,
here's the problem with that. You do a 45-day ceasefire. What is that going to entail? What is that going to involve? At this point, all Trump wants is the strait to be open. That's all he wants. That's all he cares. That his entire framework is, let's not create a economic catastrophe here that's going to go down in history as being a huge flub. That's his mindset. The Iranian mindset is, if they open the strait, they lose all leverage. That's the only leverage that they have. What else do they have to put pressure on the administration, on the America and the allies, to say back off? So, I mean, it's such a rock in the hard place. It's the only card they have, and they know that. So why would they give it up? The answer is they're not going to give it up. But will they allow the oil to flow again? Will the temperatures cool? I don't know. If they haven't done it up until this point, what's the reason to do it now? Both sides are going to declare victory, like always happens, and maybe this could be what we need. It seems like India and Pakistan, they're facilitating the negotiations. You basically just have to say, let them say they got the win on their end. We say we got the win on our end. That's pretty much how this goes all the time. And let's get this shit over with and just finish it. Just finish it. Hopefully that's what we're going to hear later today. If we don't, again, it's just the escalation. It's a constant escalation. I thank God they got that guy out. Had Iran taken that hostage, we would have been in a world of trouble. I mean, that could have potentially have been the impetus for everything just going downhill. But luckily, like all the reports are saying, we got him back. He's injured, but he's okay. Let's finish out this report here and see what else they got here for us.
And we don't really know if this is something that could actually move forward. But of course, the hope is that such an agreement could stave off what the United States and really what the president is issuing with those threats of escalation. I will say the Iranians, for their part, have said that they reject this idea of a temporary ceasefire. They said essentially in so many words that they want any sort of deal to be an end to the war. unclear if that's something that could actually be thought about. I think certainly not within the short deadline we're now facing at 8 p.m. tomorrow. All to say, the president's press conference will hopefully shed a little bit more light on this, as well as also give us a little bit more sense around the timing, of course, because that's been a huge question this entire time. The president has shifted deadlines regarding how long he expects this to last. His most recent one was saying 2 to 3 weeks before he thought the war could be wrapped up. We'll see if that's still the case when he addresses reporters at 1 p.m. today, Pamela.
Right, and I'm just wondering, we've seen the president in this war make threats and not follow through on them. Are you getting a sense from your sources how serious he is about this threat of going after civilian infrastructure in Iran if it doesn't open up the Strait of Hormuz by tomorrow night?
Yeah, look, I've been talking to a lot of people in that building behind me, as well as throughout the administration, on this idea. I will say part of the reason we've seen that deadline shift previously, I mean, it initially gave one deadline, he pushed it 10 days, he's now pushed it again by another day, is because the Trump administration recognized to escalate in such a way, and of course some of the things the president has threatened to attack could potentially amount to war crimes if he went through on, say, attacking desalinization plants in Iran. But there's also, of course, Iran has threatened to reciprocate and retaliate should the United States actually move forward with attacks of that magnitude. And that is something, of course, many United States allies and partners in the Middle East, in the Gulf region, are very much concerned about. Iran saying that they would go after similar civilian infrastructure should the United States follow through.
I mean, aren't they doing that already? Listen. Again, I'm not for this war at all. I think this is, again, an absolute disaster. But them threatening that if we attack their civilian infrastructure, that they're going to go ahead and attack our allies' civilian infrastructure. I mean, they're blowing up hotels. I mean, how much more civilian infrastructure can you get? Like, it's not even, not even power plants. They're just blowing up freaking hotels and like just mass, lobbing rockets and shit all over the civilian population. So, I mean, I don't think that's a major concern since that's already happening. But hopefully, we just get this done. By the time this airs now, we're actually pretty close to the press conference. I'm gonna see if I can come back, swing back around when he does do that. I'll see you guys then at that point. Maybe I'll go live for that. Let's see. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. 623 Talks is my channel is my X account. Please subscribe to the channel, like, share, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care. Hopefully by the time I see you, maybe the war will be over. Let's see. Take care.